Welcome back to day 3 of the 12 Days of Creating series, Christmas edition. I'm Kristen, and I'm the creator behind Simply Joy by Kristen, and I'm truly happy that you are here. So let's dig out something else from my inspiration basket. This is just all kinds of things that I gathered just to provide one spot for ideas. And so I decided that this time I was going to choose this salt shaker. Have you seen them where it's just the lone one, no pepper in sight? Well, I've seen them create them into little snowmans and put like a bottle brush tree inside, and I've been wanting to do this for years. I actually think I probably thrifted this a few years back with that intention. However, it took a little bit of a different direction, and I can't wait to show you what I came up with. First up, I needed a snowman head, and the largest wood bead I had wasn't quite large enough. And so I had this brilliant idea of adding clay around it. And it really did give the dimension I needed. And why didn't I just use all clay? That's a lot of clay, and then it would take a long time to dry because, it would be a ball of clay. However, it was not sticking well to the wood bead, and so that's why I pulled out the Tite bond, just so that the clay would adhere and not go anywhere. Now I'm attempting to make a nose. My brilliant idea was there's a hole in the bead, and so if I put the toothpick in there, it gave a place where if I glued the end for it to stick, and I think it was actually a really good option of giving that nose a little bit more security on the snowman. And of course, now it's time to paint the nose and the head. I could have left it the clay white, but I just chose to paint it vintage linen. You cannot tell me that's not adorable. And now we're going to add a little blush just to give some rosy cheeks to this cute little snowman. I used my it's a cool little device to create the eyes, but I realized that it wasn't large enough. And so then I had to go back and use the back end of a paintbrush. Now, I think that this is adorable and you don't need to, but I decided I was going to add a little dusting of white, but then a little white in the eye. However, it was way too much, but don't worry, I fixed this. So before I could glue the snowman and the little topper all together, I had to decide what was going to go in the inside. And like I said, originally, I've seen them with the bottle brush trees or a little extra glitter for a snowy look. But then I had this idea, what if I made it a keepsake instead? And you know what, if you don't have the keepsake, you could just do trinkets. But what I did was I pulled out all kinds of craft supplies that were my grandma's, and now they're mine in my stash. And I made it into a little keepsake of beads and buttons and whatnot that she had and she used. And now I get to create this cute little snowman that includes all of it. Then I decided let's add some really personal touches. So that little piece of lace was off a centerpiece at our wedding, and it was originally my grandma's lace in her stash. That was something in her handwriting. I'd already used a little bit of it in something else, and so I had just that little scrap left. This I cut out our hometown. And this wasn't in her handwriting, but someone wrote her name, and it was beautiful, and it went with my colors. I was going for a kind of pearly, creamy white, gold, and silver, and of course, need to top it off with some fun sequins. She had so much sequins. It got everywhere. But it was just all these fun things that I got to include it just to give that last little personal touch. So now let's assemble it all, glue down the head. I created a little flower on the top. These were also things from her stash. And then I gave some arms and a scarf, and then the arms are holding this little clip-on earring that was also hers, and I just thought it all went together so cute, and I can't wait for you to see the final little keepsake. She's adorable. So one last little touch to say why this is so perfect as a memory keeper of my grandma. So when we were going through her items in her house, because we had to clean it out, and she had hundreds upon hundreds of salt and pepper shaker sets, and she collected them, and she bought extras for both her sons, and anyway, she had a lot. And so the fact now that I took this thrifted salt shaker, I turned it in to this memory keeper by having things that were from her craft area, plus you have the touch of that memory of us going through all of those sets of salt and pepper shakers. It was perfect. Like, this is perfect. It's nestled now on one of my bookshelves. I don't know if that's where she'll stay, but I'm keeping her. I know as a creator, you shouldn't keep everything that you make. I mean, we love what we make, right? But this one is just for me. Thank you, friend, for being here, and I hope to see you for day 4.